What's happening, Tubesters? On this episode of Adventures in Foxbody Ownership. Now, it's a Stangs production, but today I want to talk about a little bit of a problem. I've been working a little bit today. Had to take some things apart on the car. You saw the last time the car was on the channel, we talked about the coil. And the car had sat for a while and got that fixed, and been out, been riding, having a good time, and came out and noticed that there was a spot of oil on the floor, and I said, oh, here we go. So I come out to go for a ride in the car, and what do I see? A fresh oil spill. This reminds me of a Ludacris video.
Cadillac grills, Cadillac mills. Check out the oil my Cadillac spills. Matter of fact, candy paint
So couldn't really figure out what it was. It was in an odd spot, but I had to do a little bit of investigating, and I figured out what it was. So like I was saying, the spot kind of threw me for a loop because it was coming from under the car, of course, but it was in the back of the car. And you know, I just noticed like a real oily like substance, so I was thinking maybe it was brake fluid because it's right in front of the back wheel. Took the wheel off, searched all around back there, no lines was leaking, no fluid around the drums. And then it just so happens that my buddy Rick Mustang with Big Stick Stangs had just posted about his convertible top leaking, and I said bingo, that's exactly what it was. So did a little bit of investigating, actually had to take some things apart on the car. So as you can see here, we've got both parts of the back seat out, and we've also got the panel that goes around the rear. This connects around the convertible from your seat belt to the back seat. Real simple to get this out. You're just gonna push down, put your weight in the middle of the back seat and kind of push back and pull up, and it comes out real easy. Then as far as the rear seat, on the bottom of the seats, there's two bolts, one here and one here. They are a little difficult to get to because you'll be pushing up on the bottom of the seat, but looking from this back side, you can tell where they're at. But like I said, you are kind of fighting with the seat, pushing up on it when you're trying to get to it. But it's just a 7/16 bolt to get that loose. So once you get that loose, you got to take this panel apart. There's actually 4 screws that hold this panel in. You've got one screw that goes here. This part actually faces the back of the driver's seat, so you got one screw here. You got one little screw hole around in here somewhere. It kind of hides in the carpet, but you'll find it when you start feeling around for it. Then you've got another screw hole back here at the top. And then the last hole is back here at the rear. That's your 4th hole. So once you take those apart, you can get to your top motor and see what's going on. So once you have the back seat out, you can kind of see what's going on, where your leak may be coming from. My motor is fine. There's no hoses leaking from the motor to the cylinders, but I do have an issue. I've got a hose that's leaking, and the cylinder sits down in here. If you can see that. There's a cylinder and the hose is leaking. So we're going to get that tightened up. And this does take transmission fluid, so that's what the top works off of. And by it leaking out, it did leave me a nice little mess back here. So I'm going to get that cleaned up, get that hose tightened, get everything put back together so we can go for a ride.
2 hours later.
Good day out for a cruise. Beautiful day. Weather's just not quite warm enough to let the top back. I want to let the top back, but it's just a little cool. I might do it later on.
A few moments later.